You know that very specific electric feeling you get right at the start of a new year?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe like the first Monday of January? You're standing at the starting line of, say, 2026, and you're just vibrating with motivation.
The new year, new me energy. It's a universal human experience.
It really is. You've got the fresh planner, the new gym gear. You look in the mirror and you tell yourself, this is it. This is the year I completely level up.
And then what happens?
Well, that's the thing. Fast forward 3 weeks, maybe 3 months. The planner's half empty. You're busy. You are responsible. You're checking off boxes.
But you're not progressing.
Exactly. You realize with this like creeping dread that you aren't actually leveling up. You're just spinning. You're just maintaining.
And that is the frustration that leads to burnout.
Yeah.
People think that motion equals progress. They think, I'm sweating, so I must be moving forward. But really, they're just digging a deeper hole in the same spot.
Which is why we're doing this deep dive today. We're looking at a breakdown from Tam Kaur, who works in self-development. She calls them silent habits. And that phrase, it just immediately stuck with me. Because we're not talking about the loud ones.
Right. Not smoking or doom scrolling until 3 in the morning. Those are obvious. You know they're bad for you.
Yeah.
Kaur's whole argument is that the really dangerous habits are the normal ones. The ones that make you feel productive and responsible, but are secretly designed to keep you average, to keep you in the 99%.
So the problem isn't that we lack motivation.
No, not at all. Motivation is cheap. The premise is that your normal, sensible routine is actually a trap.
And if you do what's normal, you get a normal result.
Exactly. The system is working perfectly. It's just not designed for the top 1%. If you want that, you have to stop doing the things that feel safe.
Okay, so we've got 10 of these silent habits to get through today. And I have to say, reading through this, I felt personally attacked by at least, half of them.
It's definitely a wake-up call. So let's dive in.
All right, let's start with the headspace. Silent mistake number 1. Trying to be something. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second. Isn't trying a good thing? I'm trying to start a business. That shows effort. It shows effort, but we're not critiquing the effort. We're critiquing the framing. The semantics matter so much here.
Yeah, so.
Well, the moment you say, I am trying to become successful, what your subconscious hears is, I'm not successful. You're just reinforcing the gap between you and the goal.
So you're always in a state of becoming instead of just being.
Correct. The source calls this delusional embodiment.
Which, I gotta be honest, sounds a little concerning. Delusional is not usually a word you want associated with you.
But in this context, it's a superpower. It's not about ignoring facts. It's about adopting the mindset, the operating system of the goal before the results actually show up.
Okay, give me an example.
Kaur gives a great one about content creation. If you wake up thinking, I'm trying to grow my following, you act small. You think, I'm just a beginner. This doesn't have to be perfect. Right, you give yourself an out. You're just trying, so it's okay if you fail.
Exactly. But what if you wake up and you think, I am a creator with 1 million followers? How does that change your behavior right now?
Well, you'd edit differently. You'd show up on camera with more authority.
You wouldn't procrastinate because you feel a responsibility to an audience that in your mind is already there. You stop auditioning for your own life and you start starring in it.
That's powerful. You decide you're worthy first, and then the external results follow that frequency.
And this flows right into the second silent mistake, which is where logic actually becomes the enemy. This is the trap of the logical next step.
Oh, this one is so hard for high achievers to break. We love logic.
We're addicted to it. We're trained to plan from point A to point B. I'm here, so the reasonable next step is there.
But the source says we should be planning for step Z.
Yes, for the ultimate version of yourself. Because if you only plan for step B, you're making decisions based on your current limitations.
Your current budget, your current skills.
You're essentially budgeting for mediocrity because you can't see past who you are today.
The source has this great story to illustrate this. The tale of 2 women, Lola and Athena.
Yes.
And Lola, she sounds like me. She wakes up early, checks her to-do list, goes to her job. She's responsible.
She's good. She's safe. And she's on track for a very nice, very average life. She's optimizing for the status quo.
But then you've got Athena. And Athena isn't obsessed with the to-do list. She's obsessed with the energy of her step Z self. She asks, what would my future self do?
And the detail that really stood out to me was where they work. Lola goes to a cheap coffee shop. It's sensible.
Of course. But Athena goes to work in a luxury hotel lobby.
Yes. Which, to a logical person, to a Lola, looks insane. Why drive all that way? Why pay $12 for a tea? It's just bad math.
It's bad math for step A.
But it's essential math for step Z. Athena is calibrating her reality. She's surrounding herself with the vibration of abundance. She dresses up like she's already made it, just to sit there and do the work.
So she's physically placing herself in the room she wants to end up in.
She is. And here's the tough part. You have to ask yourself, would the version of me who has made it be doing this task? And if the answer is no, you have to delete it or outsource it or just radically change how you do it.
That is terrifying. It requires so much trust in yourself.
It does.
Yeah.
But staying safe in step A has its own cost, and that's stagnation.
Speaking of terror, let's talk confidence. Silent mistake number 3. Waiting for confidence. This feels like the #1 killer of dreams.
It's a classic backward equation.
Right. I'll start when I feel ready.
Yeah.
I'll apply for that job when I feel confident.
We treat confidence like a ticket we need to buy before we can get on the ride, but the source is so clear on this. Confidence is a reward. You only get it after you do the scary thing.
You have to act your way into confidence. You can't think your way into it.
Exactly. And we have to bust this toxic myth, especially the one that targets people in their 20s. You know the one.
Oh, I do. Don't worry, nobody knows what they're doing.
We're all just figuring it out. It's meant to be comforting.
It is. It feels like a warm blanket.
But it's actually a straitjacket. Telling yourself that gives you permission to stay confused. That validates drifting. The truth is, you probably do know what you want. You're just scared to claim it.
Because it seems weird or illogical, like the example of being a doctor and a DJ.
Right. Society says pick a lane. But there are people out there doing it. They didn't wait for permission. They decided what they wanted, and they rearranged their life to fit the dream.
So decision comes before confidence, which leads us to emotions. Silent mistake number 4, basing emotions on today. The bad morning syndrome.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
You spill coffee on your shirt, and suddenly the whole day is a write-off. You let your current reality just dictate your entire vibration.
So how do you break out of that? Because it's hard to just snap out of it.
You have to practice what the source calls future feelings. And this sounds a little woo-woo, I get it, but from a neuroscience perspective, it makes sense. Your brain creates neural pathways based on repetition. If you're always practicing stress, your brain gets really good at finding things to be stressed about. It becomes your default.
So if you want a different future, you have to practice the feeling of that future now.
Exactly. You have to fire those neurons. The source literally suggests jumping up and down in your living room as if you just got the good news.
Even if nothing happened.
Especially if nothing happened.
I'm just picturing my neighbors looking in the window.
Let them look. You are being the architect of your reality, not the victim of your circumstances. You are priming your brain to look for the opportunities that will lead to that excitement.
Okay, I want to shift from the internal mindset to the logistics, the physics of growth. Because you can have the best mindset in the world, but if your calendar is a mess, it doesn't matter. This is silent mistake number 5, adding without subtracting.
This is the bottleneck for so many high achievers.
Yeah.
We just try to add our way to a better life. We add a gym routine, add a side hustle.
But you never take anything away. You can't fill a cup that's already full.
Exactly. New habits require a trade-off. You need space, physically and energetically. Kaur shares this really compelling personal story about it.
Right, about dating.
Yeah. She realized her toxic trait was seeking validation from men. It was a huge energy drain.
It takes up so much mental RAM.
So much. So she decided if she wanted to build self-love, she had to subtract that entire activity. She took a full year off dating.
That's pretty extreme.
It is. But she subtracted the comfort of validation to make space for the growth of self-love.
Bruh.
You have to treat your energy like a limited budget. If you want the luxury item, the new life, you have to stop spending your pennies on junk.
And then sometimes that junk is just the past, which is silent mistake number 6, nostalgia. I was so surprised to see this on the list. Why is missing the past a bad thing?
It's not about erasing memories. It's about what the source calls active missing, that feeling of longing for how things used to be.
And it calls that loyalty to old standards. Oof, that hits hard.
It really does. It's like you're protecting a version of yourself that doesn't even exist anymore. You're looking backward while trying to walk forward. You're going to trip.
So what's the reframe? You can't just suppress the feeling.
No, you use it as data. This is brilliant. If you miss an X, you don't focus on them. You ask, what specifically do I miss?
Oh, okay.
Do I miss the actual person? Or do I miss the feeling of being understood? Do I miss having Sunday morning coffees together?
You extract the feature, not the person.
Exactly. And once you know the feature, I miss Sunday morning coffees,
Yeah.
you can build that into your life now. You stop craving the past and you start using it as a blueprint for the future.
I love that. Okay, let's move on to systems. Silent mistake number 7, accepting resistance. There's this whole hustle culture idea that discipline has to be miserable.
The whole no pain, no gain fallacy, it's so counterproductive. If it feels hard, you're fighting yourself. You're using willpower, which is a resource that runs out.
So the goal isn't to muscle through it.
No. The goal is to make the desired behavior so easy that it's just logical to do it. Reframe it. Instead of I have to grind at the gym, it's I will move my body for 30 minutes as an act of self-love.
The resistance just drops. And you can use environment hacks. The source mentions the sweatpants seduction.
The realest thing I've read all week.
Right. If I'm in sweatpants, I am not working. I'm napping.
It's a powerful sedative. So the hack isn't to force yourself to work. It's to put on a blazer and go to a cafe. You remove the option of laziness.
Which connects to number 8, fixing symptoms versus systems. We always say, I'm just lazy or I have no motivation.
Lazy is a lazy diagnosis. You're not lazy, you have a broken trigger. If you keep skipping the gym, why? Are your clothes not packed? Do you feel intimidated? Is it too far away?
It's a process flaw, not a character flaw.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Fix the system and the laziness just evaporates. You make the good habit the path of least resistance.
But then you run into the catch. Silent mistake number 9, addiction to routine.
The danger of being too good at the system. Routine is safe and efficient. But if you get too comfortable, you get the blur effect.
The blur effect.
Yeah, think about it. Wake up, coffee, work, gym, sleep, repeat. And suddenly it's December and you can't remember the year because nothing distinct happened. Your brain stops recording new memories.
That is terrifyingly accurate. It's like being on autopilot. So how do you break the blur?
You need side quests.
I love that gamification.
You have to intentionally schedule disruption. Keep a list on your phone of random new things. A pottery class, a weird museum, a new hiking trail. And once a week, you force yourself to do one.
It just forces your brain to wake up.
Exactly. It prevents stagnation, and it reminds you the world is bigger than your living room.
Okay, we are down to the final one, number 10. And this one is for everyone who feels like leveling up is a lonely road, not scheduling friendships.
Adult connection is so hard. We have to stop pretending it just happens organically like it did in college.
We fall into this trap, catch-up culture. You meet a friend every 3 months for dinner and you just exchange status reports. How's work? Good.
It's an interview, not a friendship. You aren't deepening the bond. You're just exchanging data. You have to create new experiences together to make new memories.
And the source says to treat friendship like a business meeting.
Yes, look at your calendar in December and aggressively book your January social life. January 12th, brunch with Sarah.
See, I have to push back a little there. It does not feel cold to schedule your friends like a dentist appointment.
It feels cold at first, I agree. But think about the alternative. The alternative is let's hang out soon, which just turns into 6 months of silence.
That's a fair point.
You prioritize what you schedule. If you don't schedule your friends, you are saying unconsciously that they aren't a priority.
And it's actually more caring to secure that time than to leave it to chance.
Right. You have to prioritize connection or you'll end up successful and totally alone.
Nobody wants the view from the top if there's no one there to high five.
Precisely.
So when we put this all together, 10 silent habits, identity, confidence, systems, social life, what's the common thread here?
The through line is that none of this is about working harder. Did you notice that? Not one of the tips was sleep less or grind more.
It really isn't about the grind at all.
It's about shifting your identity and removing friction. It's about stopping the trying and starting the embodying. This whole deep dive makes it clear. 2026 shouldn't be about fighting your way to a better life. It should be about aligning with the version of you who already has that life.
It's the difference between pushing a boulder up a hill and just realizing you can build a house on the hill if you stop thinking you belong at the bottom.
Or realizing the hill isn't even there.
That's the takeaway. Stop waiting for permission, for confidence, for the logical next step.
I want to leave everyone listening with one final thought. We talked a lot about safety and normalcy. If you are holding on to a habit, a routine, a way of thinking, a relationship, just because it feels normal or safe, ask yourself this.
Oh, this is the question.
Are you more committed to your current comfort than you are to your future potential? Because often that logical next step, the one that feels so safe, is actually the cage that's keeping you small.
Sometimes you have to be illogical to be extraordinary. Aim for step Z.
Aim for step Z.